Hi, Conrick here. Welcome to another cooking video in my little kitchen. Today I'm going to do gnudi, which is not walking around the house naked in isolation because you wouldn't be arsed getting dressed. It is actually a really nice Italian dish similar to gnocchi. So let's go cooking. So what we're going to need for this is we're going to need our ricotta. I've got 250 grams here. We're going to need some flour, we've got 50 grams. We're going to need 1 egg yolk. We're going to need about 35 grams of Parmesan grated. We're going to flavour with some nutmeg, some black pepper, a bit of seasoning, and then we're going to need some semolina as well. So the first step, we need to make sure that our ricotta is not too wet. We need to dry it off as much as possible. If it's too wet, it's going to fall apart. So the best way to do that is to use a couple of layers of kitchen paper onto a plate, like so, and we're going to have a couple of layers to push down on, and we're going to squeeze out as much moisture as we can. Now that's looking pretty good now, so we're going to put that into a bowl. So next step, we're going to go in with our Parmesan. Plenty of black pepper. Pinch of salt. Our flour goes in. Put a nice bit of nutmeg in there. Now we're going to mix this together. Like so. Now we're going to leave this in the fridge for about 15 minutes just to firm up. Now that's out of the fridge, and now what we're going to do is going to make little balls out of it, and we're going to dust them in semolina. So don't go too big, kind of want about that size, a little bit smaller than a golf ball, nothing too big. And make sure you give them a good coat of the semolina. So that's literally it now for today. Make sure you've got plenty of semolina covering them. That's what's going to keep them together when we cook them later on. And what we want to do is let that set like a dry layer, and that's going to hold them together, and they're going to be really nice and light inside. So we're going to cover them like this, and then we're going to put them in the fridge, and tomorrow we're going to finish them off. Okay, so here's my gnudi now after being in the fridge overnight. They're kind of dried out nicely. They've got a nice shell on them, and now we need to poach them gently. So we need a pot of lightly salted water here at a nice simmer. You don't want to go too rough on this or they might fall apart. So we're going to gently pop them in. Like so. You can keep this for something else, and if your pot was on low and it's cooled down too much, make sure you turn it back up again. We want to bring that back to a boil as soon as possible. So for the garnish for this, I'm just going to have some wilted spinach with it. We're going to make a little quick sauce with some butter, some sage, and I'll probably have a little bit of Parmesan on top as well. So now they've been cooking away for about 5 minutes. I'm going to gently take them out, drain them off on some kitchen paper. Make sure to get as much liquid off them as possible. And now I'm going to fry them off in a little bit of olive oil. A little bit of brown butter, so we just need to put some butter in here too. I think we start putting them in. Just keep them spread out so they cook nicely. And we can go in with our sage. So you can see now they're starting to get a really nice crust, and that's really important. That's going to make the texture so much nicer. You're going to have that chewiness to bite into. So we're just making sure they're getting nice even golden brown all over, and our sage is not getting too burnt or overcooked. There it is there, it's nice and crispy, nice and green still. So we're pretty much nearly ready to plate up now. A little bit more black pepper. A little drizzle of olive oil. A bit more fresh Parmesan. And a little bit of the sage butter. Just a little drizzle of that on the plate. And there we have it.